It's really opened your eyes to or my eyes anyway, to scientific and medical and pharmaceutical industries and that operate behind the scenes of the ethical issues that raises. Out of, I suppose, serious concerns of kind of ethical concerns for the future of science. Only about 6 months ago, 62 years after Henrietta died, they discovered her genome, which is it reveals the personal genetic identity or material of Henrietta, but not only of Henrietta, of her descendants as well. So, and they published it online on the internet. So again, no family consent, no informed consent, no, so. And then, as you see, there was an article in the Business and Innovation section of the Irish Times yesterday, and it tells how the family have now been granted a certain amount of control over what is to be done with HeLa cells, or what will be done, or what kind of experiments can be done on them. I think two of the grandchildren are going to be sitting on this particular board. It's a very small step within a huge controversial debate, really, and needs to be addressed, I think, by international policymakers.
And it might have kind of future policies being made around these kind of issues.
So yes, that's it. Does anybody have any questions? I might not have answers.
Been asked.
Can I, sorry, just briefly ask? I know from the last night that they're kind of photocopy replications of cancer cells, but the overall cancer cells put together like that, is that a very deliberate shape that you've created?
Well, I suppose it's the idea that her cells replicated so much, they were sent all over the world, they contaminated everything. So the idea was to kind of give the impression that it's coming from all.
Falling like a little bit like ivy.
So that was kind of the idea for that installation. Yeah.
For those who didn't see the movie, the film, the documentary, we'll just note the HeLa cells.
Yeah, HeLa cells are the cells that contaminated all other cell lines, but they called it HeLa because it was they took the first 2 letters of Henrietta, and then the first 2 letters of her last name, so it was HeLa, and that's what they used to do then when they took cells. So that's how they ended up being HeLa cells, what they're called.
And they were the cancer cells.
They were the cancer cells, yeah, but they contained her DNA as well, they say, so they were original cells that had gone cancerous, so. And they don't know why they became so proliferated so much. They don't understand.
Is that a unique example of it? Or?
There are other cell lines, definitely others, but this is the most prolific cell line, so they don't know why, they don't understand. I wondered at one stage, about them going back in time in history. I mean, her father was the son of a plantation owner, and his black maid. So there was a genetic mixed in the gene pool there as well, so I don't know whether they look back into that or whether that was anything to do with it,
It's very curious.
Yeah.
And why did they pick her? I was fucking mad. Like, why her than somebody else? Like, how did...
Why did they pick her?
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't just pick her.
Okay.
They took cells from everybody else without their knowledge as well. But hers were the first ever to grow and continue to grow in culture. Every other cells died in culture. So hers were the first to grow. So they had something to research, I suppose. If you know what I mean.
And they're still growing, aren't they?
They're still growing.
When
Still dancing out there.
when you say contaminated all the lines, when you say lines of
Other cell lines. You see, I think initially, in the documentary, I think they thought that because they had developed the polio vaccine from her cells, they thought that began to think that cancer was a virus as well. So they were looking to develop through her cells a vaccine. So they spent 5 years, I think, was it,
Really pushing.
money spent, thrown at it in the States, and The cells were sent all over the world as well. So kind of the Americans thought they had the cure for cancer, and then the Russians. But as it turned out, when they actually tested all these different cells, there was strands of her DNA in all of them. So they were carried into the lab some way.
Oh, I see.
Do
Okay.
you know what I mean?
So they found a cure just for that strain.
They didn't find a cure. You see, they thought cancer was a virus,
Right.
but it's not. But they thought for 5 years that it was. And
Is
that's
that because
what
they were
found.
having success in different
Yeah,
places?
Yeah,
with,
well,
but just with her
Yeah,
DNA and
yeah,
her cell
yeah,
structure.
you see, they developed the polio vaccine from that, so I
Mhm.
think that's why they thought cancer, they could develop a vaccine, for cancer as well. But,
Do you feel you've resolved this issue with her, or do you think that you'll continue along this vein in other explorations with this theme, this character?
it definitely has legs, and I still find it fascinating. I don't feel tired of it. Like in some works, you think, God, I've had enough. I think it's a fascinating story, and I think even as you see from kind of the newspaper yesterday, it's still such a hot topic.
Mhm.
So I could see myself